We begin this evening with a follow-up out of Wilbraham. The suspect in a Wilbraham shelter-in-place incident now faces several weapons charges. Thanks for joining us for Western Mass News at 6. I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Amanda Martin Ryan. The suspect's mother also stepping in and filing a petition to send her son to a treatment facility until his next court date. With the latest developments in this case, we turn out to Western Mass News reporter Madison Lazowski joining us live in studio. So Madison, what have we learned about this?
Yeah, Chris and Amanda, it's called a Section 35 petition, and it allows the court to involuntarily commit someone to a treatment facility for substance use when their behavior poses a risk to themselves or to others. The suspect's mother filing the petition, which allowed the court which the court allowed for 90 days. The suspect in this case is 34-year-old Nidal Adam Sholey of Wilbraham, currently being held in a 90-day detoxification program specific to male patients. This was determined following his dangerousness hearing on October 10th in Palmer District Court, where he was ordered to be held without the right to bail. All of this coming after the victim that was being held against their will by the suspect told police that Sholey was intoxicated while threatening them with a gun on October 3rd, prompting police to shut down Crane Hill Road in Wilbraham and force a shelter in place for nearby residents. Police then had to request backup from the State Police Special Tactical Operations Team, and after several hours, the suspect was taken into custody. The residential road was closed from that time to around 1:30 p.m., and the shelter in place was not lifted until the afternoon. We're learning today that investigators found that several bullets were fired throughout the Wilbraham house, and the suspect is facing a long list of charges. That list of crimes includes assault and battery, discharging a firearm within 500 feet of a building, violating an abuse prevention order, improper storage of a large capacity weapon, unlicensed possession of an assault weapon, assault with a dangerous weapon, and threat to commit a crime. Now, Sholey's next scheduled court date is December 16th. Stick with Western Mass News for the latest developments in this case, both on air and online. For now, reporting live in studio, Madison Lazowski, Western Mass News.